Well, welcome back to Life on Cars. How are you all doing? It's Paul here, and today we are back on the Rolls-Royce and some interesting content for you today. I have discovered with the help of a subscriber. So basically, to start the story off, one of my subscribers, one of my great subscribers, sent me an email and said, Paul, check out this company called Bridgwater Electronics. It looks like they have replacement alarm key fobs for a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit or Bentley SZ derivative that uses a lollipop style, or shall I say originally used a lollipop style alarm key fob remote. So I had a look at the website and I got in touch with Bridgwater Electronics, and sure enough, they do have the relevant parts to be able to send out a new remote holder for the original lollipop style remote keys. Now, finding out that this company could provide replacement holders for the alarm remote circuit board was the first bit of good news, because I don't know if you remember, I did an episode a while back where I was talking you through all the functions of the alarm system fitted to this Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit III, which is the same as the Bentley of the same era with the SZ style body shape and electronics. And in that video, I explained that I've only got one of these keys, and the key itself is a bit worn out, the buttons are worn out, and the actual piece that connects onto the key ring had snapped off. So I was very pleased to find out that I could get a replacement holder from Bridgwater Electronics. But Bridgwater can actually supply brand new remotes as well. But the problem with that is obviously the remote needs to be programmed in. So anyway, to cut a long story short, with this video, what I've been able to do is I've been able to work quite closely with Bridgwater, and we have figured out how to program in brand new remote controls onto this age of Rolls-Royce. So that's quite an interesting thing, isn't it? This is a 31-year-old Rolls-Royce, and we've been able to figure out how to program new remotes to the existing alarm system. So stay tuned. I think you'll enjoy this episode if you're interested in automotive electronics. If you own a Rolls-Royce or a Bentley SZ, then you'll be able to find out all about programming in new remotes. Now, the only thing is, on this video, I will be able to give you most of the information, but I'm going to hold some information back in terms of the actual procedure, in terms of some of the different things that have to be done to program the remote in. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to maintain the security of these vehicles moving forward. So it would probably wouldn't be a good idea for me to just put onto YouTube the whole procedure of how to program in the remote. But what I can do is I can show you where the various parts are on the vehicle, and I can talk to you a little bit about the procedure. And then what happens is, if you go to Bridgwater Electronics and you buy a replacement remote, or if you buy a replacement holder for your original remote, then obviously you will get the full instructions on how to program a new remote. So before I get into the rest of the video, one thing you do need to know, if you're getting excited that you may be able to program a new remote for your Rolls-Royce or Bentley SZ, you will need at least one existing working remote. If you don't have an existing working remote, unfortunately you won't be able to do this. So I was lucky on my Rolls-Royce that I did have one that still worked, even though it's very battered and the buttons are pretty much worn out and there's no way to attach it to a key ring. It still works. And because it still works, we've been able to figure out a procedure for programming a second remote. Hope that makes sense. So let's get into the video. We're going to change this old one over first, put the new case on, and then we'll do the second part of the video where I talk about programming in a new remote. So get yourself a cup of tea, relax, let's go. Get in. Okay, here we go then. So we've got my original Rolls-Royce remote, the only one that I have left for the car. Strange green colour and fairly worn out, but the main thing is the bit that goes on the keyring has completely snapped off and broken. Here's my new one from Bridgwater Electronics. Nice brand new remote. So let's get this one opened up and see if we can do the changeover. I'm just going to use a little sharp screwdriver to open this up. Should come apart fairly easily. There we are, look. Oops. So we need to remove the insides from this remote, which should just be a case of carefully. It's just on a little peg. There we are. Come on. There we are. So get rid of that, and it's a good time to change your battery if you haven't already done so. So this one opens up by sliding the it's just got a bit of protective tape on it there. Sliding the silver bit off, and then we can open it up like this, and then we're just going to slot this in with the 3 buttons orientated correctly. Just turned a bit more light on to try and get it easy for you to see, but basically there's 2 pegs, one at the top, one at the bottom, which lines up with 2 holes in the circuit board. So let's just drop that in. There we are. That's gone into position. So now we should be able to carefully put the lid on. You can see that the little LED works. And we should be able to put the chrome bit on to complete the installation. There we have the old remote transferred over into a nice new case. Happy days. Certainly looks a lot better, doesn't it, than the old one having a black and silver on the keyring. Right, let's go and give it a try. So here we are there with the new remote case fitted onto the existing circuit board. So the new remote key fob there, very nice. Let's just check it works on the car. So left button is lock. Yep. And right button is unlock. Fantastic. So yeah, that is going to look so much better on the keyring. So what if we want to program a new remote then? So there's a couple of things you need to know. First of all, you need to know where the ECU or the control unit for the alarm is actually located. Now I'm presuming this is the same for the Bentley SZ, as well as the Spirit, and it could be the same on the Spirit II. I'm not entirely sure, but this is a Spirit III, and the location of the alarm ECU, which receives the signal from the remotes, is in the boot. So I'll show you where that is. So yes, we need to get into the boot, and what we need to do is we need to remove this side trim. Now on my car there is a little push button clip that you pull back there, and that releases this bit, and then there's a couple of screws, one here and one here. Right, I've just removed those two screws from up here. There's one just down there and one a bit further along. Just pop them to one side, and then what happens is if we just move that carpet, we should be able to carefully pop out this side trim like that. Place it to one side, and now what you can see in here is you can see a couple of things. You can see the bulb holders for your rear light. There's this big cable here which is your battery earth, and if you look a bit further along you've got this piece of wood here, which on my car has been used to clip various things in place. And what you want to do is you want to be looking a bit further along, and there it is. That is the alarm remote receiver, little computer there. So I'm going to take those two screws out that hold that in place. There's a screw there and another Phillips screw there. So we'll take them out and then we'll swing it down so you can have a proper look. Right, got the screws out, and that comes down now, look. And we can swing it around and we can see this little unit here. And the reason why we know this is the right unit is, can you see this little black cable here dangling? That's the aerial. So we know we're on the right unit. So it's got a plug that goes into the back of the unit, and then there's another plug there, look, that disappears off into the vehicle. So what I've discovered with working with Bridgwater Electronics is that it is possible to program a second, well, more than one, I think up to 6 remotes. Well, you never need 6, but yeah, I only had one, so I've been able to get hold of a new remote from Bridgwater with new internals, and I've been able to program it to this unit. So here it is. Here's my second remote, and just so you can see what I'm on about, the old remote, see the central lock in there, the old remote has a red LED, and the new remote has a blue. And you can hear there that my new remote is working. Because what Bridgwater will do, now that we know what we're doing, they will send you some instructions to show you how to make a small modification to this unit. And what it involves in actually adding a second cable to the connector. They will supply the cable, and the cable is only used for programming. So that's the bit I'm not going to go into in too much detail, because it's a fairly easy thing to do, but I don't want to cover it all on the video just for security reasons. So you will add a second cable into the connector on here, and then you will follow a procedure for actually programming a new remote. And it's fairly simple. It just involves holding down a button on the working remote or your existing remote, and then following a sequence, which then means you hold the button down on the new remote, and if you do it correctly, the new remote will program itself in. So I'm absolutely over the moon now. I've got two brand new. Well, one of them is a brand new with brand new internals, and I've got a spare which I'm going to keep, which is the old remote. So that's now going to become a spare, and I'm going to start using the brand new remote for the Silver Spirit. So yeah, and it looks tons better, doesn't it? So the old lollipop remote now is going to go in the bin. We don't need that anymore. Happy days. So I just need to fix the ECU back in. There we are. It's all screwed back in. We'll get the side trim back on. There we are. There's the trim back on. So we'll close the boot and check that it all locks. Yep. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Mike, my subscriber who put me on to Bridgwater Electronics in the first place. Thanks very much. It's all worked out in the end. And yeah, Mike has a Bentley SZ vehicle, and he was looking for a replacement remote for his broken original lollipop key. And like I say, he found Bridgwater, and then he got in touch with me and said, oh, by the way, have you seen this company? And like I say, we've been able to figure out how to not only replace the remote keys, but add new ones. So yeah, thanks Mike for that, and I really appreciate it. I will also put a link in the description for the website for Bridgwater Electronics, and I'll put a link in the description for the previous video that I've done about the alarm system on the Rolls-Royce. So like I said a bit earlier on, you will need at least one working remote for this to work. But if you have got a working remote, which is similar to my lollipop remote that I had originally, then there's a very good chance that if you wanted to, you can purchase a second remote from Bridgwater and get it programmed in. Worst case scenario, you can at least replace your old holder for a new one as well. So yeah, it would appear that back in the day, Rolls-Royce, for this model, again, I'm not 100% sure on earlier Spirits, possibly the later Spirit as well, so the Spirit 4 and the run out of the Bentleys on the SZ, it would appear that Rolls-Royce at the time used a kind of a modified version of a laser line alarm system. So because the keys are actually like a laser line design, and that little ECU that we've just looked at in the boot there is a version of a laser line alarm system from the 1990s. So yeah, it's useful to know that. Anyway, listen, I hope you got something out of the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. That would be fantastic. Keeps me going on the channel, keeps bringing people to the channel. Share the video as well. If you're on any of the forums on Facebook, help me out, share the video. You know, if you're on the RREC forums on Facebook, give us a shout out. I'd really appreciate that. And we'll keep plugging away at this Rolls-Royce. Like I say, I won't be happy until it's 100% right. And it's not quite there. It's about 95, 96% right. There's still a few little things to do. But I'm slowly but surely turning this car into a car that I'm happy with. You know what I'm like, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I do like to get things absolutely right. So we'll keep going with the Rolls-Royce. There's a few bits and pieces to do over the winter. And by the time this video comes out, there's probably a couple of videos on this little Mazda MX-5 that I'm working on for a friend of mine. So that's been a bit of an interesting project. So yeah, check that out. But there'll be plenty more to come on various things on Life on Cars. So in the meantime, stay safe, drive carefully, and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye now. Bye bye.